All right, we're live.
What's up?
What's up, guys? Trying to get this thing to go live on Instagram. So if it will I just got to hit go live. But
that's a challenge.
There it goes. There it goes.
All
right, we're live.
Burnett
We are live on Instagram and TikTok right now. So I'm going to do this, and we should maybe be able to. All right, we'll be able to tell. Is that good enough for you?
Yeah, I can see it.
All right. What's up, guys? What is up? Welcome back to another episode of Deck Talk Podcast. And we got Matt and Luxner right here, the two right here in the picture that you see. You may know them also as Jen and Dustin Muse from Nebraska, but actually Matt Luxner will be on here in a short. His regular job is kind of slowed him up for the podcast, but he will be on. But guys, if you don't know, I'm Colin Burnett. Pappy J. So, but let's do some business real quick. I do have to talk a little bit about some Joe Burns rods. These things have been the best thing that I have put in my hands. The sensitivity on these rods are by far the best I have ever had in my hands. Today I just yanked up on one that was a monster Chickamauga bass that just all you felt was just a little thump, and that was it, man. And that was that was the best feeling ever. I don't know. Besides, after that little tick, it just started running with it. Most of the rods, all you'd be able to just see is just the line running. Would not be able to feel that little tick, especially when they're sitting on beds. You know that they're not going to hit that bait that hard. So make sure you have your custom rod built by Joe Burns. Call him at 423-618-9499 and tell him that Deck Talk Podcast sent you guys. All right, we got Jen and Dustin. What are y'all doing?
Well, we decided to make a trip from Nebraska down here to Mold, Alabama. Supposedly we're supposed to say roll tide, but I can't do that because I'm a Husky fan, so it's going to be red.
We're talking now. Roll tide.
Oh, no way. No, those words aren't supposed to come out of my mouth. But no, we are here in Guntersville, Alabama.
We came down here to see, and a lot of people know him. He comes on the podcast and comments every once in a while, but came down here to fish Big Lake Guntersville with Matt Dillon.
Also known as Plopper D Fishing.
Yes, he's around here, but they're putting the boat away because it's starting to storm here. So
got ran off by the clouds today, and happened to get some.
I don't know if we can take a look. Let's try to take a look. I don't know if you guys can look behind us, but we have like the sweetest pad, the sweetest Verbo out here. It's beautiful out here. You turn around here. We got some lakeside front property. Pretty cool.
Have y'all even took a rod down to the water and just walked the water's edge? I mean, because them bass are sitting right. I was catching them today in 1 foot to 2 foot of water, and just walking along the bankside.
Well, that's
I would have took my boat out, but somebody beat me like a rented mule last night at work, so I was worked like crazy.
We have a bone to pick with everybody around here. We did fish this morning, but in order to get our boats on the water, we have to have an Alabama boater's certificate.
Boater safety card. And basically the way it works. Even in a kayak with a motor.
We even called him Matt. Matt called and asked.
If you paddle, you don't need one. But if you have a motor, which we do because we tournament fish, we have to have a boater's safety certificate. And the bad thing is in Nebraska, you don't need one because we're grandfathered. I know you don't want to say grandfather because we don't I look 27. Why I can't say anything else.
But
anyway, you don't need one at a certain age. So we're sitting there thinking we don't need one. Well, we called the DNR and talked to them, and they said, well, you do have to have one in Alabama. Everybody does.
And you have to pay for it. We found a free one, but it's $45 plus your fishing license.
Per person. So there's an extra $90 on top of license fee. So we found a loophole and got a free one done, and it took us about 4 hours to do.
We've been doing boater safety, so
yeah, it's been fun.
We passed. I got a 95. What'd you get?
I got a 98.
Oh, well, we passed.
Who has the brains in the family?
Yeah,
well, I just got lucky. We answered both the same question wrong, even though online
we did. We answered it wrong.
But we got it. We got the right answers, and we passed our boater safety course, and now we're legal.
A nightmare. I feel sorry for people that have to do that.
Pappy and I were talking, and that's brand new. This year is the first year that they're making people do it.
We had to call our local people in Nebraska, and they're like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So we had to call our Nebraska Game and Parks, and luckily we knew our guy, and he's like, nope, you still got to take the test. You have to pick a different state. It is available in Nebraska, but you'd have to pay for it. So any state, you can be certified in any state, but where we were grandfathered in, we've never had to take boater safety. We're old dogs.
And we're in kayaks with a trolling motor. I mean,
none of the questions really were pertaining to kayaks, but we passed.
Well, seeing that, Tennessee has it too, but I think if you're
it's reciprocal.
A certain year. I think it's like 94, 95.
Yep, it's born before you're born. Yep, same with Nebraska.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's not an easy test. So don't go unprepared. You have to study. Like, there's a lot to it.
So can you imagine having what that test is like, and then what I'm going through to have the captain's license? It's crazy.
It's got to be a nightmare.
It's got to be a nightmare for sure. It was a nightmare for us, and we don't even need it where we're at. It's not even. We decided that you guys just wanted our $45.
Not me. It's that roll tide.
Yeah,
that's that roll tide. That's right. It's the tide.
They got to pay for that crap somehow.
That's how they're getting that NIL deal.
All right.
No, the tide tried rolling us, but our N put a heck no with a capital N to it, so they didn't get our money on that one.
I am kind of glad that the weather's a little nicer out here. It's been really nice since we've gotten here.
Yep.
Well, I want to talk, though, about Nebraska fishing, because y'all been doing a little bit of it. I know y'all been running around like a chicken with its head cut off. I mean, probably about 3 weeks before the Classic, and you haven't even slowed down yet. So
we haven't. We didn't even unpack on.
That's crazy. But I know I've seen some pictures and stuff of some bass that y'all have caught up there. Now, what is the water temperature up there? Because down here it's about 63, 64.
Right. Well, for us, like the last time we were on the water, I think I was getting 52 to 54 degrees surface temperature. So everything should be kind of getting that transition to go up, finding your beds to spawn, pre-spawn. And the bigger ones have probably already spawned, but we keep getting these cold fronts that roll in that are really cold fronts. I mean, it's 40s and 50s for the high, and it's not making that water any warmer, any faster. So I think it kind of stunts the spawn a little bit, but they should. I mean, we're here now, and we probably should be fishing at home, catching all of our spawning bass, because they have 80 degrees up there right now, calm weather, nice weather, and we're missing our big bite. But that don't mean much. We'll still get out there.
We're in the monthly right now, so that means that we're competing really against other Nebraska anglers for the month. So we need the best 5. We need to keep catching bigger and bigger bass so that we can, get the first place. It's going to be the top, I think. Is it top 10%?
It's 10% of the field. I think we got 4 or 5 people in it right now, so you're not going to hit that double mark to get qualifiers. So you basically got to get first place to qualify for the national championship through that part.
Yeah.
And you fish by the month. I mean, so, and monthly. It used to be where we had so many, you were competing like 30, 40 people. So it moved down to like the top 30% or top, I don't know if it was 10%. They changed it, but now you have to get first in order to go on because there's not as many people that are in the monthly. So, but we already qualified.
Are those the kayak tournaments? Are they like weekly? Are they monthly? Or
it's a monthly. It's a monthly tournament. It starts at the beginning of the month, ends on the last day at midnight. To get your fish submitted. It's your best 5 by length. We don't go by weight. So when everybody asks us, how much that one weigh, we say 20 inches, 21 inches. We can't tell you the weight unless we bring a scale. But most of it's just based on length on our measuring boards. And you got the identifier card, but it's your top 5 bass.
I wanted to text
them. So just to kind of a backstory. So how did y'all get into the whole kayaking bass fishing?
Well, I mean, when we got into it, first we were in a little, your old pedal boat because we were shore fishermen forever.
Yeah.
And we wanted to get out in the water. So we bought a pedal boat and we had kids. So we had Jen and I in the front and both of our kids in the back. And I mean, we had fishing rods going back and forth. Luckily, none of us got hooked. Nobody had a hook to get removed or anything like that.
We caught a lot of fish from that. Oh my gosh.
It totally changed how we fished. Like, wow, this is like 20,000 times better than standing on a shoreline trying to catch something.
As soon as we took the kids to like late September, we have, a wiper and a white bass that will run through. As soon as we took the kids fishing for white bass and the wiper, they didn't want to fish again because you were just pulling them out.
After another.
Everybody was bleeding because they all poke your legs and you have to take your legs and pick your legs up. But absolutely the most fun fishing ever.
And then, after we were doing that in the pedal boat for so long, well, the kids got bigger and it was getting harder and harder, because you got a weight capacity on a pedal boat. So we ended up, her brother, he was in a kayak and he was fishing. He's down in Texas. He's like, you should really get some kayaks so you guys can kind of separate and go out and try it out because it's a blast. So Jen went out. She found a great deal at one of the sporting goods shops near us.
It's like a buy one, get one free.
Yeah, it was at Dunham Sports, and they had a buy one, get one free. And we're like, all right, we drove there, and these are your set inside 10-foot little kayaks that they sell at like just your mom and pop stores. They're not really made for fishing, but we did the best we could. They are toys, but we fished out of those things, and we caught so many fish out of them. And the kids, they were in the pedal boat, so here we were just with our kayaks going around and going fishing, and it totally changed everything. And then we ended up running into Marty Hughes, which everybody knows him as Kayak Jack. He's well known in the kayak fishing community, but he came up and talked to us about it. Like, you guys ever thought about getting into the tournaments? He's like, they have a lot of kayak tournaments online. And I'm like, well, I never really thought about it. I'm having fun catching fish, and I decided to do it one day. I'm like, I'm going to spend the $20, get into this tournament scene.
Well, we didn't even have a smartphone yet. Yeah. So we had to have I don't think I was old before I finally, Marty asked if we knew that all this kind of fishing existed, like there were tournaments and stuff. We really didn't know. So I think it by the time we got signed up, I think you signed up first.
Yeah, I did the one, some kind of bass splash or something. And I ain't kidding you. This is before measuring boards even became popular. I was using a tape measure with a stick. It was, but that's the only way I could measure
Marty
anything.
Told us to.
He says it was legal. And you just had to have an identifier code with something that would measure the fish for you. And I mean, here I am with my tape measure out, with the fish laying on the ground and a stick.
But it wasn't just bass, guys. We fished like multi-species tournaments. And we learned how to, Marty'd say, okay, we have catfish month, we have crappie month, and then
bluegill, largemouth, and
we specifically had to go catch your best 5 of that particular fish, and we think that that's really what made us really good anglers.
Yeah, that makes you change the way you fish with all species versus just one. I mean, you're trying to catch the biggest bluegill, you're trying to catch the biggest crappie, you're out night fishing in your kayak catching huge catfish pulling you around on the water, and you don't know how big they are until you get them by your kayak. So I mean, it was just a change of the game, and I mean, it was the most fun multi-species tournament we've ever done. I think they called it Kayak Palooza.
So, for somebody that like, let's say they cannot afford to go get a boat, they can hop into a kayak. to do tournament fishing, do they have to have a trolling motor one, or can they paddle?
They can paddle. You can paddle. I mean, before motors got popular, have Hobies have the foot pedals that go back and forth, and people can use those for propulsion. I mean, and there were people out paddling those, and people in kayaks with paddles that were out fishing the people with the motors. I mean, it's a matter of how good of a fisherman you are and getting to the right location and catching the fish. It doesn't matter. You don't have to have a motor. You can go out there, paddle it. I mean, we paddled 5 miles just to go to our fishing spot with me, her, and both of our kids, just to get to the spot and fish. So, I mean, you can do it. You can get to the places. You can have fun. And, it's a matter of how much money you want to put into it.
Yeah. Now, because I was not off season, but this winter, like I've thought about, well, that wind's blowing. I thought about like wanting to try to holler at one of my buddies and stuff that's around here and trying to just enter a kayak tournament, because I think that'd be interesting trying to do.
Right.
I'm kind of afraid for the fact that I may like it.
Yeah, that'd be the problem.
Yeah.
It makes you want to sell those glitter rockets, as we call them, and get into the plastic brigade.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, you can't catch a fish going 70. I haven't done it yet.
Right.
So
that's right. All it does is spend money on gas.
He's gonna go boat here. I feel like we don't have the funds or the maintenance skills to take care of a boat, so we stick with the kayaks. As soon as we added motors to our boats, you get extra troubles. Like you get new things that you have to, But we also upgraded to lithium batteries, so now we can go.
You can go 15 miles on a 12-volt 100 amp hour lithium on our full charge, going 4 mile an hour and go fishing all day long.
I go 100 mile an hour until I get there. Yeah.
So it does change your game, but it also makes it to where like my biggest thing with being in a boat is you think if the fish aren't biting, I'm going to go shoot clear across the lake and go clear to the north. When you're in a kayak, you have to break the area down you're in. You're trying to catch fish and not waste time. So you're fishing the area. You're fully fishing it versus they're not biting good here. I'm going to go try somewhere else.
You're committed to it. Yeah.
That's absolutely right. I think that's the best thing. And I mean, you see it nowadays that kayak fishermen they have tournaments on the same lakes as all the Bassmaster Elites, Major League Fishing, and all that. And they'll have kayak tournaments, and the kayakers are catching bigger, better bass than what the pros are doing. And these guys, they're supposed to be at the top of their game, and you got kayak anglers coming in, and they don't have the speed to go, 100 miles or run 2 hours up the lake to go find a spot. They find their spot, they fish it, and they're catching quality fish. But I still like bass boats, though. They are fun to fish off of.
Well, we can't just zoom on over across the lake to go get where we want to go, but I do think it makes you really dial it in. You have to, because you can't just run off to the other side. Plus, I mean, you see me, and even when you and I have worked together, we're huge map readers. Like, I love to figure out where we want to go, which ramps we're going to, utilize. There's rules. Like, we can only use public ramps. We can't, or public accessible ramps, right? Can't just go drive on the side of the lake and hop off and go. I mean, we have rules that we have to follow.
See, I like the comment, Jen, that you just made about really breaking it down. And I can see that in a kayak versus a bass boat. You're already committed to the area. So you would really have to get to know the terrain under the water as well as on top, all the structures and stuff like that. So that's very interesting. I can see where you would know. I guess your knowledge of the water and the structure underneath would be a lot more versus somebody that just gets out here like me and shoot across the water. You're not overlooking nothing, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Well, and I think between that and the fact, I think you can be so much more. I think you can be quiet, and I think a lot of times, we can get into areas. I notice that the more quiet I am, and the more I really am. These bass, these big bass that we're after, because let's face it, we've gotten to a point in our lives, we're not chasing little fish or numbers, we're chasing monster bass. We've realized that that's what we're after. We want to go fishing, and that's fine, but we're really looking for exclusively like the biggest bass we can. Why not? Our whole goal is to catch a double-digit bass. That's why we're down here. So, I mean, I feel like
who's caught the biggest out of y'all? Who's caught the biggest bass?
Dustin did. I'm really close. I've caught more big, like, I think I've caught bigger bass in numbers. I've caught more bass over 20 than he has.
I don't know.
I believe
about that. That's pretty even.
But I think he's caught a bigger one.
I see a challenge.
Y'all need to start marking these out.
I haven't deleted a single picture off my Google Photos.
He doesn't miss one. I don't even take pictures.
I got proof.
Anymore.
I kept my proof.
We have caught monster bass, especially for, he's really close. Tom Witcher was weighed. You'll have to explain.
Well, by the scale that I used, which everybody that I've talked to at the Classic, everywhere I go, they're like,
he's been whining about it.
That is well over 10 pounds. Nebraska state record is 10 pounds, 11 ounces. And everybody's told me it's over 10, maybe even 11. My scale said 9 pounds, 9.7. And it was 23 3/4 inches long.
See?
Are you sure?
There's Matt.
What's up?
Yeah. So, because at the Classic, we were talking about it, and you showed me that picture, and I pulled up my 10-pounder, my 10.2.
Yeah.
And
I know.
Yours had more girth on it.
Yep, I know. I'm having a feeling my scale was a piece of crap. I wish it wasn't. It was the only thing I had. I don't even know why I had a scale that day.
We don't normally weigh anything because all of our stuff goes by measurement.
The whole.
Well, you need to have a scale with you that works. There's one called Bubba Scales that's phenomenal.
Yeah,
and
I know.
If y'all get it, then y'all can do. I've got one, and y'all can do a tournament against us, like Pappy and I. And we can have even like if Matt got one, we can do one where Matt can fish his lakes. Y'all can fish in Nebraska. We can fish down here and catch these tanks, and we can compete because it's all off of Bluetooth, and so we can do our own little tournaments amongst each other.
What he really meant to say is that Pappy will be catching the fish, not Colin.
Okay, you're to catch them and hand them over.
Hey, how I look at it is if it comes in my boat, it's a we.
No, but the whole story behind that fish, I mean, it was crazy the things that happened. I even told John, our buddy. Yeah, we were Jen fished the area before me, and then she went off and like I'm gonna go down farther, and I'm like I'll just fish here and work my way towards her. But the reason we went fishing that day was my father passed away, and it was his birthday. I'm like, you know what? We're gonna go fishing. Why not? It's a nice day out. It's a weekend. We're gonna go fishing at our local hole that we like to go fishing during that time. And anyway, Jen, she was down, and there's a special number involved with my family because my dad. I didn't realize it at first. My number in football was 66. I wore it all 4 years during football, and my kids, whenever they were in sports, both of them were 33, and they thought it was just a neat thing that everybody 33 and 33 equals 66, right? So 33 was just their number. Well, when my dad was sick, he was trying to go to everybody's games and, all the kids' games and sports events, anything he could go to. He wanted to see his grandkids and see what they're doing. And anyway, come to find out, and I didn't even know this, that my dad's football number was 33. And ever since his passing, this number 33 has been showing up. My mom's birthday was yesterday. Mm-hmm. The whole trip down here, the whole 16-hour drive that we drove down here, the number 33 was popping up everywhere. I mean, it was just
too
phenomenal.
Much to be coincidence.
Yeah, it's always happening.
I took a picture for Glenda, and in the distance was exit 333.
Yep.
At 2:33.
Yeah, no timing and not paying attention, just seeing it and being like, you realize how many 33s there are? we get here to Gunnersville, and the road we came in on to get to the Verbo here was Road 33.
It was. It was crazy.
I'm like, well, this is getting a little too crazy. but anyway,
y'all need to just get off the podcast, and y'all need to be going fishing with all these 33s. I mean,
I know.
Got one of the best bass fishing lakes right there in your
we're trying
yard right there.
Well, if we can catch 3 11-pounders, that would be 33 pounds of fish. We'll hope for it. I mean, after that boater safety course, I'm bound to it for at least an 8-pounder.
Golly, that was terrible.
But anyway, back to it was, I was fishing and wasn't catching anything. The wind was blowing, and I'm casting. The next thing you know, I thought I was snagged. My line started moving, so I set the hook, and I'm like, oh boy, this is a big one. I wasn't thinking anything of it. Reeled in, and it couldn't even jump out of the water because it was so big. I mean, it just came up, head thrashed, back down in the water. I'm like, oh my God, that's the biggest bass I've ever seen. I hurry up, I get up, I just pulled up on shore. I'm like, you're not getting away. And I picked it up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a 10-pound bass. This is what I imagined a 10-pound bass would look like. I hurry up and get on top of the shore. I'm whistling for Jen. The wind's blowing. She could barely hear me. She didn't really know. I end up calling her on the phone. And the time that I caught that fish, I looked at the history of when I called Jen. The time I caught it was at 4:33 on my dad's birthday.
Oh, that's cool.
He was screaming, "Oh my God!"
I couldn't believe it. I wanted to get it mounted, get a mount of it and all that, and because I mean it's special to me because how many times is that ever going to happen in my life? But just with how much it costs to get a mount, and I'm like, then you're hanging something up on a wall. I'm like, yeah, I can't do that. Well, I came up with the idea that what, I'm getting it tattooed. So I got this. I don't know how easy it can be to see. I can't get my hand in it. Anyway, that is an imprint. That is the actual print of its lateral line with the date and time that I caught it. So it's always with me. I don't have to worry about it being on a wall, catching dust. It'll just wrinkle on my arm for the rest of my life, and I'll always have something to look down and remember it by.
Yeah,
that's a cool story. That's cool story.
Yeah, and we go fish in the same lake every time on his birthday. Hopefully, I catch that fish again because I put it back, but I haven't been lucky enough yet. So,
yeah, that's crazy. I know that it meant a lot to you, especially just when we were talking about it at the classic and stuff. And but yeah, there's no way that was just a 9-pounder. I mean, I even showed you a 9 that I caught. I mean, but it was bigger than my 10, and so
we'll have to get our pictures together and just so everybody can see and have you post it, just so you can see the difference in the sizes and stuff. I mean, I caught more fish. Like I was trying to revive the fish, because we took pictures of it. I measured it just and had the scale and all that. I'm like, well, I'm going to put her in the water in my net so she can just revive herself before I let her go. And while I'm waiting, 2 casts later, I catch a 20-inch bass. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So I'm like, you know what? I threw that one. I'm like, they got to be feeding. There's got to be a school of them here. I put that fish in the net with the big one, cast that again, and caught a 17 3/4-inch bass.
He really did.
I'm like, this is unreal. I mean, I got a picture where I'm holding all 3 fish that I caught in a matter of a few minutes.
You guys, but here's the funny thing. So Dustin's dad has always joked us around with us, like stupid jokes, like being prime numbers. And he's always talked about this silly number 3. Like Dustin literally not only caught it at 4:33, but then he actually caught 3 bass total, where he held them all up, and that big bass looks like a monster compared to the other 20.
Yeah, it's double the size of the 20-inch. I mean, it just puts it to shame. It makes the 20-inch look like it's a 15-inch bass. It's nuts.
I probably have 8 or 9 pounders, no 10 pounders for me.
What's that?
I think that you had a shot at the state record. I think you probably had Nebraska record right there.
I think so too. I mean, I don't know if I'd ever want to tell them, hey, yeah, I caught a state record bass, because then everybody knows where you catch them, and everybody's going to be going and fishing where you fish. But
you ask where they ask where you caught it, and you'd be like,
in the water.
I caught it at. Yeah.
Oh, there's too many hole buzzards around.
There's definitely hole buzzards.
You got your Facebook people. They'll look at the background and be like, oh, you're here, and you're like, delete that comment.
I'll tell you what. I feel like I have had 8 and maybe a 9-pounder.
Yeah,
but never a 10.
Yeah, Jen caught a really, really big one. Man, that thing was big too. I mean, its gut was about the same size as my big bass. It wasn't as long, but I mean, it looked like it swallowed a duck. I mean, it was big. The fattest bass I've ever seen for its size.
You know, it's funny that you said that. I got a buddy of mine that he has 16 acres and probably about an hour away from him, but he's got 3 ponds, and his wife wanted to get ducks for the ponds. Well, I put a 9, and I think I put it was a 7. Excuse me. It was like a 7-12 or something like that. I put in there, and she was down there feeding the ducks one day, and she was watching, and she's like, there was like 6 of them just going along the bank, and then I just heard a whoosh, and the next thing I know, there's 5 of them going around, and she said one of those bass swallowed them little ducklings. I was like, yep.
That's why those big topwater lures, everybody's like, I'll never throw one of those rats. I'll never throw one of those ducks. You might want to, because you might land yourself a big old bass.
Yeah.
Got a question for you, Colin. Actually, 2.
Yeah.
When are you going to show me some FFS?
The cheating screen is what you're wanting?
Yeah, I want to see the cheating screen.
Now we gotta you're down here. We gotta figure it out. So
you're gonna have to show me those how sensitive those Joe Barn rods are too.
You should have seen what I didn't boat flip it. I pretty much did.
You bank flipped it.
I had to, huh?
You bank flipped it.
Bank flipped it. I mean, I had to, and I just got that sucker up. I probably looked like Dustin trying to make sure.
How many pounds do you think that was?
Depends on how close he had taken the picture.
Yeah, I had Pappy holding it from the backside of the camera, so it looked a little bigger.
Yeah.
Got to give it that extra 2-pound look.
yeah. So, but I mean, I probably had roughly 20 pounds that I caught today, in the best 5 that I caught. So it wasn't.
That was awesome back.
Yep. And all in less than 2 foot of water.
Nice. We're gonna try to get it. We're gonna try to get out of the lake after the storms hit.
Yeah, just be careful, especially in that 10 rig.
Oh yeah.
So, but so Matt, what is your biggest fish, Matt?
I don't want to lie. Probably a 5.
Well, I guarantee you can walk that bank that's right there behind y'all.
Yes.
And take a Cinco with a light bullet weight, like a 1/8, and Texas rig that sucker and just pitch it out there and just slowly just kind of jig it back to you.
You've seen the color.
And I guarantee you, you're gonna catch something close to that.
It's shallow though, Colin.
That's where they're at.
I was catching them within 2 feet of water.
Oh, okay. I need to probably after the storm passes, we might go out there and try and catch some.
I told him we were they have a boathouse out here. There's crappie and bluegill under there. Those bass are there.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Oh, they're going to be around it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, because what they're going to do, Matt, is that they're spawning right now. So they'll go and they'll fan their beds out.
Okay.
And then they won't, and like last year I was catching them in like 6 to 10 inches of water is what I was catching fish in.
Now, what
do what?
I was going to say, what about tomorrow and Saturday when we go on Main Lake?
Dayton Lake? Are you talking about Chickamauga?
No. The lake we're at.
I told him.
Oh, Main Lake. I thought he said Dayton.
I'd still just target shallows.
Yeah.
You know,
that's all.
Hard structure, maybe some hard structure.
Yeah, because
blowdowns, any kind of blowdowns.
Yep.
Jed wants to take me to Goose Pond.
Yeah, that should be across the river or the lake from you.
It's 16 minutes from our location.
Yep. It's not too far.
Yeah. So that ain't too bad. Because I was, I had went, when was it? Tuesday, I think, that I tried to get you to go. I went Tuesday to Marion County Park and done just to see about what the water clarity was, and I was able to do some sight fishing there. And then I went today, and I told Michelle, I said, I'm going to go fishing for 2 hours. And then I was like, then I'm going to go grab the rest of that stuff at the house, throw it in the bed of the truck, and bring it so we can hurry up and get this move done. And that was at what time we left? Around 10 o'clock this morning?
10:30.
We left the bakery at 10:30.
10:30, 11 o'clock. Yeah, no. It
was about 2:30 when you finished fishing.
Do what?
I said that was about 2:30 when you finished fishing then.
Yeah.
You said 2 hours. You got to double it. That's fisherman lingo for I'm going to be gone at least 4.
I was like, I got to go.
Now, Colin, with that 10 rig handle Gunnersville and Goose Pond pretty good?
Oh, yeah. I got a 10 rig.
Yeah, that's right. You have a newer boat than me.
Yeah, I mean, but tomatoes, it's all the same. As long as it floats and it goes, that's all you need. You don't need to go spend no $100,000 on a boat.
His dad,
as long as it floats and it can. You don't even need a big motor. I mean, if you got a trolling motor, you can put in at a ramp, and that's one of the funniest things. Like when the gas prices started going up, and people wasn't going fishing, and I was like, why are people not going fishing? You got batteries, right? You can charge your batteries, put in at the ramp, and just go around. I mean, I was like, that was the funnest I had in a long time. And
Nobody
competition.
So, oh yeah, hold on.
Okay, I called Luxner and he is on the way. There he is.
Yeah, he's there.
Woo-hoo.
How's it going, Matt? Pretty good.
What's up, bro? I gotta do this. I gotta add you to the screen.
Colin, you should see all the eagles flying around here, dude.
Oh heck yeah! Let's see. Speaker. So.
You know.
Sorry guys, I'm fixing this to where we can have all of us on here. All right. What do you know, Matt?
What do I know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's walleye fishing season out here right now.
Walleyes.
Walleyes, bass.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's heating
I
up.
will
Smallmouth, largemouth, crappies.
So I've been doing some bed fishing. We were talking about doing some sight fishing and stuff. And let me see that crawl real quick. This crawl Matt sent to me with Luxner Lures. And so I was trying this thing out. This is the crawl. I'll do like this. This crawl right here.
That's a hollow
So
point crawl.
Yep.
this thing, I will have to say, is one of my favorite crawls that I've had.
Yeah.
That I've thrown. And I've thrown a lot. And I'll tell you one reason. This is the only crawl that I have ever thrown that stood straight up.
Yeah.
The only. And especially when you're bed fishing, you want it to stand up to where they're like, oh, what is this? And so, and then, but I'm going to do like what Dustin told me to do is to put rattles in these things. I think I had one that I guarantee you was over 9-10 pounds that was on bed that that had a little buck bass that was probably 4.5 that was messing with the bait um, instead of the big old fat girl. But I think if I would have had some rattles in it. What's up, big guy? So, but yeah, I really enjoyed that. So, but Matt, can we have you kind of explain like to people because a lot of people may not know who Luxner Lures is. So, can you kind of introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Matt Luxner. I live in Moses Lake, Washington. I have been fishing and making lures my whole life. When I was like 7, I was cutting up my mom's kitchen spoons. Then they bought me a creepy crawler set, and I figured out a way how to make creepy crawler plastic, which is plastisol softer, and make fishing lures. So, and melting
Okay.
down soft plastics. That was when I was like 8. So then I've been making lures ever since. Yeah, met Jen doing Trapper Tackle Pro Staff like 8, 9 years
Wow.
ago. What was it?
It's been a while.
So
Heck yeah.
yeah,
So now, where do you get? I mean, your baits and stuff that you have are not your ordinary looking baits. You have some like weird looking
custom.
baits, huh?
Yeah, they're custom
Custom.
molds. I have that one craw though you can buy at like a lure that's lure craft. But
Yeah,
most of mine are custom molds that I do. I don't like doing the same Cinco or same swim bait.
right.
I have some of those molds that everybody else has, but for the most part, I do custom and I do a lot of open pour and silicone molds and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
And
So I
explain
know
to them
that
now.
like um my dad's got some, and he actually wants to. He's going to get the bass subscription box from you because he's seen some of the baits, and he was like, man, they're they're odd looking. Some of them are. Some of them just kind of look traditional, but a lot of them are just kind of odd looking. Like there's one that's a rivet, and I'm like, my dad was like, what is that? And I was like, it looks like a rivet to me. And and
it's a
so
rivet.
It's
and
not a rivet though. It's a cherry popper. That's what it's called.
It's what it is a cherry. People will see the name and be like, oh, that's a perverted name. It's a Cherry Max 4-10 aviation rivet that I blew up twice the size because originally I made a inch-and-a-half one for ice fishing, and it was a bet. It was a bet
Yep.
that me and a guy were talking about fishing, and we were doing a sheet metal project. He was my helper, and he was like, "So you're telling me this will catch a fish?" And I was like, "I bet it will." Case of beer and
Oh yeah.
$10. I molded one out of repo rubber, like 2-part silicone putty. Went home, poured it like 5 of them. 15 minutes before work the next day, I caught 6 fish. So then
Well,
the rivet was
and
born. And I
yeah,
go big and go
well,
home. So when I had a custom mold
yeah,
made, not only did I have the 1.5 inch made, I had a 3/4 of an inch, 1.5 inch, 3 inch, 4.5, and 6 inch all made at the same time.
So
yeah,
let me get this straight. You got this off your the whole design come from a rivet.
A rivet,
yeah. Well,
a pop rivet
That's crazy.
that they use
well,
in
and the thing
aviation.
is, uh,
That is crazy.
And
you're
so
saying that you
I
have
love that.
this is just package,
It ain't
and
stupid if it works.
it
Yep.
says it ain't stupid if it works. And that's the thing about it is, and I've gone out and I told Jen and Dustin, I was like, I'm going. I mean, yeah. And
Well,
so
so that
we,
it's funny is I came out with that lure. It was like 10 years ago. I started making it 10 years ago, and it's like everyone's like, "Oh, that's so stupid. That's stupid." Well, you look at forward-facing sonar baits, and you look at the tails that they didn't have on lures like 10 years ago. Lures like the baits that you'd use for them now are like jerk baits and stuff like that. Now they put all these little ribs and stuff on the back. Well, if you
yeah,
look, they're just like the rivet tail, and so the back of the bait, the little rivet head catches the water and makes that tail wiggle. And so 7 years ago, I had made one. I need to find the mold that's a minnow body with that tail, and it would be the perfect forward-facing sonar lure.
oh man,
Oh, that would that I could yeah I would yeah.
that
Well,
And
even
and
with
I'll
that,
use
and
that
so
on
you
a
can
I
chatterbait.
told
I'll
you
use
could
that
rig
on a
that with just
chatterbait, a swim jig. What was that?
and so
like
I
you could rig that with a Ned head and just use it as a net,
that's
your
what I'm gonna
smaller
say.
one, just as a
This
Ned
would
rig.
be a good throw it on like a bald head jig or a Ned rig or a micro jig. This would be phenomenal on.
That's my
And
favorite way
so
to fish it. Now snap. I'll do what I call snap netting it. Like I'll drag it and jiggle it and just let that tail go. And then every once in a while, I'll just give it a snap jerk like you would like snap jig in a blade bait, right? And that tail, you'll
right,
feel the vibration in the rod tip, brr, brr, and that's when
really
they'll
with
hit
from the tail.
the tail. You'll
It's
feel it
from the disc.
vibrating
It's the disc part of the pop rivet is what's causing your eruption of the tail
All right,
because it's causing it to
we're,
like a
float behind
chatterbait
it.
I'm
blade.
just gonna say this:
Yes.
we're ending the podcast right now because I gotta go try this out. So I'm just saying.
And where
I
is
just
it?
gotta.
I have.
That is.
Oh, I just had one.
We gotta go try this out.
Um,
That's
I
Well,
guarantee
just
you,
like
you
Matt's
could
saying
get.
though, you look at all the new lures they have. You got the fuzzy dice, which is just looks like a piece of square bubble gum that put a bunch of strings through it, and they're catching big
Yeah.
bass on them. It's
Hey,
something
and
the
if you
bass
put
haven't
or
JP
seen.
on it, you can
the
charge another
the poop bait.
$12 more on top of it.
The poop bait is basically like you took a crawdad, someone took a crawdad, ripped both the arms off it, and made it like a fat bodied
Yeah.
crawfish shaped Cinco. Like the fish arrow one is a crawdad without no arms.
Yep.
And so then I have the one crawdad, the big bad crawdad, that is a custom mold I actually bought from a friend. He was trying to make a burbot bait and didn't like it, and then I bought the custom molds from him. He had Kirby design and manufacturing make them, and then I started shooting him with silica sand, which is like almost twice as heavy as salt, and it doesn't dissolve.
Tell you about this.
Mm-hmm.
And it silica sand doesn't dissolve, and it's twice as heavy as salt, and it absorbs water. So when you throw it in a Cinco, it's a super sinking Cinco. Or you throw it in a bait, it sinks twice as fast. Your baits don't fall apart. The silica combines with the soft plastic plastisol, and they're just strong. They're tough,
They are strong.
Yeah,
and they
I've
drop.
noticed
Like
that. You can tell.
that's the tweaker worm. They drop twice. They drop super fast. The tweaker worms are very skinny, like Cinco with two flap tails on the side of it.
Yep.
That's the one you
Right.
liked, Colin.
Yeah.
And that thing drops like a rock.
yeah, and I got some of those. I gave actually when I was out fishing today. I've kept like I keep some packs in my truck so I can. To me, it's like that's easy advertising. Especially if I see a kid or something like that, I can be like, here's a pack of baits, and one, it makes their day, and then two, they can go do whatever. They can go catch some fish with some baits, and then my thinking
Oh,
is
here it is.
you tell them about the subscription boxes. I mean, to me, those subscription boxes are the gift that keeps on giving. I mean,
Oh yeah,
I
that's like the
I think
perfect
that
gift. As a kid, like 11, 12 years old, I would have loved grandma to get me that for my birthday. And like,
oh yeah, I mean
um,
it. I mean
I
my dad
told John
is
this story, but like when I
9
was a
years old.
kid,
He's so,
when I was a
but
kid in like the eighth or ninth or the what was I, third grade, right? You know how you get them prize packets? Like you get 100 on a test, you get a star, and you get so many bucks, and you pull some stupid army man out of a treasure chest.
Yes.
I had a million of those little dollars the whole year, and so like end of the year, she was asking my mom, I guess is the story how the story goes, like, hey, Matt is not spending none of his money. Like, what is up? He's got all this money, and he just opens up this treasure toy thing, and it's like, eh. So my mom told her what lures to buy, and I had like a couple $100, and I had a whole year's worth of these little things, and she was putting like the most ridiculous prices, like a spinner bait. I had a man spinner bait, and like some map spinners. I spent all my money in my little Starbucks, and
in
one
the third
shot,
grade.
like, dang, in the third grade.
That is
So
funny.
that's when I really got addicted because my dad was in the military and we moved everywhere. When we're in England, we didn't
Yeah,
fish that much, but we moved to Arizona, Tucson, Arizona, when I was 7, 8 years old. And my dad was a trout fisherman from Colorado, and we were fishing like little trout ponds, and I was watching people fish rattle traps. And so one day I talked my dad into like, I'll do whatever dishes or whatever I had to do to get a rattle trap. And I got a blue back holographic sided rattle trap.
heck yeah.
And I was walking around. I saw a whirlpool on the side, and I tossed it in the whirlpool like that little 8-year-old kid doing messing around. I pulled out an 8-pound bass, and from that was my first bass, 8 pounds, and I was
Oh.
hooked, hooked. Well, later on that year, I went on a Cub Scout camping trip because I was in the Cub Scouts. I'm an Eagle Scout. My older brother, he's 17 months older than me, hates fishing. Maybe it's because me and my dad, it was our thing, and he felt left out, but he hates fishing. So I'm fishing some pads with a frog, which is the other thing I love to do besides rattle traps. Um, and he picks up my rattle trap pole and just starts slamming it between some lily pads. And he hooks up and he pulls out a 13.5-pound bass from some lake in Tucson or outside of Tucson, like 2 hours away in Patagonia Lake or something. Pulls out this 13.5-pound bass, and I was livid. And for years, it took me 6 years to beat him, but for 6 years, I was just trophy chasing for 6 years. That's all I did. He can't beat me. Like he don't know. All I ever did was read Bassmaster magazine, Field and Stream. I went fishing. We had a pond in the like a mile from the backyard. All I was doing was fishing, and it took 6 years, but I caught up to him.
Heck yeah. Now, um, so you've been with, I guess, being with your dad being in the military. So you've been able to go and kind of fish kind of all over the country and all over the world. Then,
Yeah, so I moved a lot, and even once I moved out the house, it like my dad was in aviation, and I'm in aviation, so just like it every 4 years I was moving. I've been in here in Washington since 2018, so who knows? Maybe we got to move sometime soon. But I Arizona, North Carolina. Then we moved to the Midwest, Wisconsin, Minnesota. And then I came out to Washington. I was like, oh no, trout and salmon. I don't know anything about this trout and salmon and blah. And then where I live at is actually some of the best fishing for anything I've ever seen. Walleye, smallmouth, largemouth. Like I've caught 10-pound largemouth up here, up north, and you're like, that's crazy. And I know one of my friends catches 10s and 10s to 14s all the time, and he
So what's
trophy
the
hunts and
biggest
he makes his
smallmouth
own.
you ever caught?
We make big
Uh,
walls.
I'm thinking 8. I didn't have a scale with me, and I had it. I sent Jen the pic, and I think Colin's seen the pic of me with my son at like 6 months old in a stroller, using a Mickey Mouse like kiddie pole and a 2-inch crappie bait open pour that I make drop shotted. And I saw like a shadow on a bed off a dock, and I tossed it out. And next thing I know, I had a fish bigger than my 6-month-old baby.
So did it strip the gears in the reel?
Oh no, them poles! I've never had one of them poles break. I've never had one of them poles stripped. I've seen a video where this dude catches like a 4 foot long sturgeon on one of them poles. Them poles are the best poles known to man.
I think we ought to start
And like,
making custom rods that are kiddie pole size and just start selling them. They
and
catch
my
more
other
bigger
favorite
bass than
rods,
anything I've ever known.
my other favorite rods that I use, and most of my rods for everything I use, I love ugly sticks and lightning rods. Like I've bought 150, 200, 3, $400 rods, and I would rather just have an ugly stick.
Matt,
Really?
Matt Robertson must love you.
Uh, yeah, yeah. Oh, Matt, yeah, Matt Robinson would love that. But I I want so you said that you talked about like how you're in like the aviation and stuff like that,
hmm
and you make baits. But one of the most intriguing things about you that I've heard is you like to get punched in the face for doing some MMA fighting. So I want to talk about that a little bit.
I've done a little bit
So
of MMA, jiu-jitsu, yeah.
yeah, so how'd you get into like the jujitsu and all that?
So I grew up moving every 4 or 5 years, right? And so I got beat up a lot. I had a brother 17 months older than me. We fought a lot. So I started doing like martial arts. I always fought. And then I was just training martial arts and jujitsu. And I trained. And I was married for quite a few years and went through what lots of guys go through, a divorce. And it was rough and it hurt. And I'd rather feel physical pain than emotional pain. So it just turned out like God had it all lined up. The daycare we were sending my daughter to, the guy who ran the daycare, he ran an MMA group out of here, and I was like, had talked to him about jujitsu, and he also likes fishing. His name's Isaac Jones. He's one of my pro staffers, and he's my MMA coach. And so we signed up for a fight like that. I called him on Wednesday. I was supposed to fight that weekend, and for some reason the kid broke his ankle like the morning of the fight, and so that didn't happen. Um, but then I just stayed with it and did a couple MMA fights. Did one combat jujitsu fight. I've done a couple jujitsu tournaments. Local. I did a national one with my wrist torn already. I did IBJJF Nogi Worlds in 2023, and I took third place for my weight and age group. So
I couldn't imagine. I mean, I I I grew up. There's six of us, and I'm a twin, and we're the last two. and but I grew up, we roughhoused, and I had buddies and stuff that we would fight and all that, and it. And one of my buddies growing up actually uh, uh, done. I I don't know exactly what he's been. He was doing it since he was like 8 years old, like the jujitsu and stuff like that. He trained for a while. He trained with Uriah Faber, and then he went down and trained with BJ Penn and and all them down there, whatever island that they're from, went and trained with them. And I told him, I said, man, you gotta be some kind of crazy to be able to stand in with another grown man that's willing
It's
to
great
have you
therapy.
pound on his face. And
It is great therapy. It it was like the best
Matt, you have
therapy,
front
and there
teeth.
was a time where, huh?
I said, Matt, you don't even have your front teeth. You hush your mouth.
I got nice teeth now though. They might be fake, but they're nice.
It's because the guy punched him out. What the heck?
Yeah,
Hey,
that was only one fight. I'd spit out a tooth, but I won that fight though, so it's okay.
That's good. That's a good thing.
so, but
And I go to work the next day after that fight, and I had this big old black eye, and I had some aviator sunglasses that didn't even cover it, and they're just like, "What the hell?" My boss is like, "What the hell?" Be like, "You got another one coming up in 2 months." Yeah,
I couldn't imagine. I mean,
yeah, but it's
I
great therapy.
guess
So if you're going through like some emotional things or whatever, martial arts is like one of the best things. It's like going to the gym. Like guys go through
yeah,
breakups, they go to the gym and they just push weights. You go hit a punching bag, or you sign up like, "Hey, buddy, I have some issues. You got some issues. Let's beat each other up." It was pretty fun, and I'm stubborn.
yeah,
So I was
yeah,
fighting. I was 39. I was fighting 18 to 25-year-olds,
man. So do you
and for the
still
most part, I
you
all
still go
all my
around?
fights,
He's tall.
all my fights that I did three-minute rounds, and I lasted all three-minute rounds. Win, lose, draw. I've had all of the above. Every fight was 9 minutes.
Oh my
Um,
Wow. And that's and people. I mean,
god.
That's a long time.
right. And I was about to say because people think, well, it's just 9 minutes, but when you're
yeah,
going and try just getting on and just rolling on the ground for some with somebody for 9 minutes, that is exhausting. So,
yeah. Go
but
go try out some jujitsu and do like a 6-minute round or whatever, and you're just
But
yeah. Or people
yeah,
think they know how to
I
fight,
passed
and then they go out and they get quickly learned by someone who's trained a
out.
long time that it's not that easy.
Yeah,
That's the same way I feel every time we get done working. It's like I'm kept constantly carrying him. I feel like I've been in a gym all night long, just somebody
yeah.
punching me and everything else. So I feel you.
Doing all the
Yeah.
work.
So
That's how
I
I
do
feel
want
every day at work.
to talk. We only do it 3 days a week, so. But I do want to talk though. Go back on like to your baits. I had to talk about your your fighting and all that because really I really enjoy talking to people that have that because it's a different mindset than anybody to. I mean, to actually just stand toe to toe with somebody and y'all just duke it
Yeah,
out.
it's a
Y'all
it's a
rolling
different
on the ground.
experience. It's a different experience.
Yeah,
Like you can get in a street fight, you can have like some beef with someone, but it's a totally different experience to get in like what you call a sports fight, and you walk in there and they literally lock the cage. And my first time was like, "Dude just locked me in here. Okay, this is going down." And
yeah,
so yeah, it's a totally different experience. It was
yeah.
fun.
So I want to talk about your subscription boxes and stuff that you have, um, because you just don't have a bass subscription box and stuff like that. I mean, you've got multiple. For I mean, you've hit a wide variety of some anglers with your subscription boxes.
Yep. So I got a bass kit. I've got ice fishing. Ice fishing is like where I really started making baits, living in Minnesota and Wisconsin for 15, 20 years of my life. Did a lot of ice fishing. So I've got a lot of ice fishing baits, panfish and crappie baits, and trout
Okay.
fishing. Do some trout and salmon baits, and out here in the Pacific Northwest, within 2 hours of me, I got some of the best. Columbia River has salmon, walleye, bass, has everything, but really known for its salmon.
So
So I
what is a salmon bait? I mean, because I've never caught a salmon. I mean,
so
but what does a
so I
salmon
have
bait look like?
so they there's a lure called a cut plug, and I got a big one, but this is an innovative design for me. But let me put my phone down. So this is like a European kind of style lure called the Devon Minnow, and this part unscrews in the back. This part flips open, and they shove it with tuna fish. And then there's this
Really?
line. You run the line through here, and you put it behind a big old Dodger, which is like a big old spoon, and like a 8 ounce weight, and you troll it on the boat.
Real.
Uh,
You probably
that
accidentally.
I think you hit the hang
He
up
fat
button
fingered us.
accidentally.
yeah, when he is adjusting it, that right there.
There he
I
is.
wonder.
All right, I'm
There
back.
you.
And you
Okay.
so you troll it behind the boat, and it catches salmon, and they catch real good. And they have like I got a bunch of sizes, and that's a little prototype bait. I bought a 3D printer for that idea, and it works good. And I 3D print lures. I got a bass. I came out with a lure that I was doing, and I got an ice fishing one. I sent some of you guys the parachute
Yeah,
minnows.
and
Well, I
I
haven't used this one yet, but I've got a bigger version, like a 3 inch, and it's got a custom stamped tail. It's got a through wire. I still got to try this one out, but 7 years ago I made the first one, and I caught a bass or I caught a fish first cast. So I've caught
but
tons of bass on them. So yeah.
yeah, and because I when I got the box and I was going through all them baits, Jen and Dustin and I were talking, and I was like, I don't know what this bait's for, but I guarantee you, I'm going to go catch some crappie, and I'm going to go catch some bluegill because you just sent you sent the small one, but and then I got to thinking we can go to Nickajack and which is all part of the Tennessee River and use those things to catch some smallmouth too. So,
Yeah,
but
I pulled out a 4 pound largemouth through the ice with one of them this winter. So
And I wonder how it would work on forward facing sonar, to be honest with you.
um so so I'll tell you because in ice fishing we were using Panoptics and live
yeah,
scope before people on the boats were really using it that much, and it worked awesome. Like I could pinpoint the
what
fish.
picks it up
So
real good.
ice fishing, I use fish finders anyways, and flashers or like a live scope, and I find where the fish are, and I only fish active fish. With live scope, you can see the size of the fish. It's just awesome, and so they work
Yeah,
good. Like you could even see the tail vibrating. You could see the return from the tail vibrating.
Yeah. That is crazy.
And they got a tungsten bead in them, so they'll pick up on a live scope. They got tungsten on them.
Yeah. Now, let's see. I'm going to there's a bait I want to ask you about. So, let's see if I can find it. It may be in my truck.
Which one is it?
So, here's what he was just showing us right there. So, this one here, these tiny little things. What are they? What do you use these for?
Tiny. I can't even see what that is. It's so tiny.
Is that the one? Is those the ones that look like a little pill?
Like a pollywog?
A pollywog pill?
Or is that the
roly polies? Only
roly polies.
Oh, those are like I use them. Those ice fishing. You use them for panfish. Also, put them on like a little tungsten jig.
What'd you see?
Put them underneath the slip bobber. We catch trout, open water with them. All those the like little scuds is the one with the little tentacles on it.
Because that's what I was thinking too. Was for pan fishing.
Yeah.
And so, but I'm gonna have to try that.
I mean, I don't target bass with little things like that, but I've caught some big bass off wax worms. Like lots of people that I know have caught 4, 5, 8-pound bass off like fishing for bluegills with ultralight poles, and it's like, it's insane when you.
I caught my biggest bass on crappie here. One of them.
Yeah.
When you're using like a little crappie bait with a kiddie pole and you catch an 8-pound smallmouth, or you're using an ultralight trout pole and you catch I caught a 50-pound catfish once on a medium light walleye rod, fishing for walleye. And my oldest son at the time, he was like 7, 8 years old, and we're rolling in to go home, and all of a sudden I thought he was snagged. 2.5 hours then the line moved. 2.5 hours later, we got a 50-pound catfish up to the dock, and I realized then I don't ever want to do that noodling where they stick their hand in the water, because I stuck my hand out and I grabbed that thing in the mouth to pull it by the dock because we didn't have a net, and he smacked my hands like it was a mouse trap, and that thing hurt.
Started thrashing.
They bite.
Yep.
And yeah, he was over 50 pounds, and he was taller than my 8-year-old son. And so you catch those fish like you'll see people in a kayak fishing for bass, and they catch a like 48-inch muskie or something like that, and get sleigh rided by a muskie, or like Dustin and them were talking about catching carp on French fries, right?
That's right. It worked. It worked. I'll say crappie gear is a legit thing, because we took some of our friends. They were from Colorado and they came to Nebraska, and we took them out. It was kind of a crappy weather day, kind of like today, but it was colder and just drizzle. And we went out. We're trying to show them how to, they see all of our fish pictures, like, you got to take us out. So we took them out and we tried getting them on fish. We're giving them lures like, try these. This is what we caught them on. We didn't catch anything forever. I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, you know what? I'm done fishing for bass. I'm going to start fishing for crappie.
We have to get them caught.
I'm like, I got to find something for these guys to catch, because there's a good crappie where we're fishing for bass. Well, I put on this little tiny frog. I don't even know what they're called, but it was just a little plastic frog from Cream Lures, a little jig head, just something small for crappie that we catch crappie on. And I ain't kidding you, I caught, 15 bass in a matter of an hour, fishing the grass with a little tiny frog. That's the only thing they were biting on was crappie gear. I gave it to the two guys, and they started catching fish left and right too. They're like, you got to be kidding me. You got any more of those? I'm like, that was the only ones I had. I just couldn't believe that day was just a small crappie lure day to catch quality size bass. They were anywhere from 15 to 18-inch long bass, and they were in shallow water.
They're around the bushes.
Yeah.
Where the crappie
Now, Matt, this is Pappy. Sorry I didn't introduce you earlier, but he is a spinnerbait king.
Me too.
So, do you have any baits that will go on a spinnerbait?
Oh yeah, that cherry popper, that rivet, that is great on a spinnerbait. Great on a swim jig.
That creates extra
Then
vibration on it.
I got one that Jen has seen pictures of. I got a centipede lure that I have a mold for. I could make more of, and it would be a great spinnerbait trailer. It's like
Yeah.
4 inches long. Has
4.
what?
I said maybe like you can do a limited 4 so people can try that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm set up
That'd
to
be
mass pour. Like most people who do open pouring, right? Like you watch World's Worst Fishing, Chris Jones, YouTube video, whatever, and you see open pouring, and people are heating up plastic in a Pyrex cup in the microwave, 1 ounce, like a 1 cup size cup, and they're pouring these fancy baits. Well, I got pots, and I pour.
right.
I have hundreds of molds. It's the only way to do it efficiently and be able to do it. You just get a bunch of molds, a couple pots. You can pour 2, 3 colors at the same time and just one after the other, and boom, you learn how to do things efficiently and quickly and good. And it's
Yeah.
all practice. So I can pour
So,
molds fast. I have ways to pour appendages like that people don't understand. That's easy little tricks that I've picked up over like 35 years of making baits, like heating up a silicone mold and then running a spatula over the top and scraping all the plastic off. I call it slop and pour. It's like the easiest way to pour plastic in the world. You just don't even try to make it nice. You pour plastic over a hot mold, scrape it off, and boom, all the legs pop out. Like, oh,
huh.
We're giving away your secrets, Matt.
Yeah. No,
I did. I did. That's not my secret. Marlon Bates has done that like 12 years ago on his YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Now, how is it easy to blend the colors and stuff? That because some of the baits that you sent has like multiple colors in it. Is it easy
No.
to have it? No.
No, so like if you go on one of the soft plastic making groups on Facebook, that's like 90% of the questions is going to be like, oh, I can't get my laminates to turn out, whether it's open pour or it's injection. And it's all about
Right.
viscosity and temperature. And
Yeah.
so if your plastic isn't the right temperature, if it's too cold, it won't bond to each other. If it's too hot, one color's hotter than the other, whatever, you start running into problems like
So it's
you don't get
very
an even
sensitive to
laminate.
that.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
it's a process you learn how to do. It'd be like going out and trying to skip a jerk bait under a dock with a bait caster, and you're just rat's netting at first, but after a while, you get good at it.
Yeah. Oh, I'll tell you this, Matt. Nobody knows this, but there's 4 people in this world that know this story, and I'm about to tell you this.
All right.
So we go to the Bassmaster Classic, and I've got some friends that come down there. They bring some rods, and the first day, somebody hands me this rod. Says, "Look, you cannot bird nest this reel." But the reel already had a bird nest in the thing, and that person wanted me to try to get it out, and which I did. But so I know what you're talking about, bird nesting, and I mean if you can see somebody just how they're acting,
Can you still flip people off live? I mean, can you do that? You see that?
So, yeah, that
we're gonna make that a cast. Hey, now I threw that out in like 50-mile-an-hour winds. We almost died trying to fish this. Okay, so Luxner, you sent us a huge batch of everything, pretty much everything you have that you make.
No, that was an eighth of what I make.
Oh my gosh! Let me tell you, it was gold. It cost him $20 to send. It was a lot of baits. So we needed to get out there and fish them before we left for the classic, and make sure that we were trying everything. Make sure that we really, we looked at the packaging. Like, we want to represent Luxner as best as we can. So it was literally the only place to fish because we had 40 and 45 and 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts. People were pulling over. They're like, "What in the heck are you doing? You guys are crazy!" I'm like,
"You're gonna die. You're gonna
That's when they had
die."
that accident in Kansas. I don't know how many people died, but you couldn't see on the interstate. And it caused like a 50-car pileup.
We were fishing.
I was watching videos, and you guys were like, "We're going fishing." And I'm sitting there watching videos of semi trucks getting like picked up and pushed around, and like, these fools are about to go kayaking in this because I knew you were gonna take your kayaks too. Like, what? I want to go.
We fished and we fished as many as we could. Just check the buoyancy. We floated everything because one thing is very unique about Luxner Lures is his recipe that he uses on some of his lures. That's why you're getting very durable lures. You're getting a faster sink because he's using
the silica sand.
It makes for more durable.
It's different. I mean,
it is different.
You're not having to add a weight to your lure to make it sink faster. It's already sinking faster. So
that's what Gary Yamamoto and all them put in the Sinkos to make them sink. And Zoom uses salt, and that's why you get sinking lures. And like me and a couple other people who've been bait making a long time, our theory is they did an excellent job of finding out a way to trick people into, besides the weight, but people think that salt catches fish, like salt attracts fish. No, salt is cheaper than plastic, and if I use a quarter of my plastic and replace it with salt, I can make my Zoom lures that I'm making. I can make 4 times or a quarter more, 25% more lures.
You only get one use for that Cinco when they put that much salt in there.
And they put that much salt in it, and the baits fall apart.
Yep.
And you're like, "Oh, I got to keep buying this bait. This bait's catching fish so good." And they have to use softer plastic in order to use that much salt, and they just fall apart.
Think D-Man's, what's their bait called? Their recipe?
Elastic.
So
they use Elastic.
I feel like this is in between real plastic and elastic, but a hard somewhere here.
And so there is a guy supposedly this week coming out with some plastic kind of like Elastic that he figured out. But Bait Plastics, this little homemade company, they make something similar to Elastic, but for a gallon of that plastic, it cost me $90. Okay. And so, like, I could maybe make like 30 packets of baits for $90, depending on what size lures we're talking about. 20, 30 packs of baits. And then if I'm, as a small bait maker, want to sell those Elastic style type baits, I got to sell that pack for like $20 a pack. Yeah. And it's just not worth it, so nobody uses it. It's called FlexX, but like if you're a home bait maker and you want something similar to Elastic, it'll cost you like $90 for a gallon. You got to heat it up on a hot plate, not in a microwave, to 400 degrees, and it just stinks and it's nasty, but they have stuff out there.
Right. And but
that Elastic is amazing.
Yeah, but back to what you're saying about how they use salt in their plastics. You watch everybody's fishing videos. You know, they're sitting there catching a fish. They're catching it on a Cinco. And as soon as they catch the fish, they boat flip it or whatever, and the fish starts flopping around. All of a sudden, you see their lure fling off into the water.
New bait.
Because they caught their one fish on that one lure. They have to rebait their hook, and there's waste going in the water. And you know, they only got one use out of it, where yours, I mean, it's durable. I've stuck a hook in and I got it all in the wrong spot. And I'm like, I'll pull it back out. And I re-rigged it. It didn't change it at all on how durable it was. It stayed on the hook how it's supposed to. Where most of your other lures, as soon as you do that, they slip off the hook. They don't stay on the keeper or anything like that. Yours didn't do that. Yours worked great.
Well, and you can kind of get away with it a little bit in bass fishing because fish are stuck to a cover for the most part, right? You got some times where they're roaming, but like ice fishing or fishing crappies and roaming a basin, if you lose your bait, like you're using a plastic and you got to rebait. That's why so many people use plastics or crappie jigs, crappie fishing. If you lose your bait and they're not holding the structure, you're fishing open water crappies, now you got to chase them down. And the fish, the perch or the crappies, they move on, and you want a bait that's going to stay on there so you can catch 5, 10, 15 fish before you have to change your bait.
Right.
Yeah.
And with
like
if
how I use my
time
bait.
is money, even with bass fishing. So if you're having to switch out your Cinco every 2 fish,
That's time away
like
from the
what?
water.
Yeah, that's time away from the water. What happens if you're at a fishing a tournament and some douchebag comes along and creeps into your spot and catches a 7-pound bass from the tree you were just pitching
Because you were too busy retying on a new
because you
one.
were too busy putting on a new Cinco.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's that doesn't.
I mean, that would
Especially
be a
if you're
fight of the dock. If you did that to me, we'd be fighting at the dock.
Some jujitsu, some
we,
water
we, we,
jujitsu.
then we might not even make it to the dock because I was a lifeguard at the Boy Scouts when I was a kid, and I used to swim miles at a time. So I can swim, and yeah,
yeah.
we ain't making it to the dock.
Well, we have been on. Let's see,
Well, I got
going
one thing.
on an hour and a half,
I also have one
and
more thing, real quick, Colin. I wanted to ask Matt. Now, you do have a plan that people can join, an affiliate program. Is that right? How's that work?
I do. So you sign up. You go up on the website in the like upper right hand corner. You can sign up to be on the site. Like get like a site, like
An
a
affiliate
site
program.
member. A member. You can sign up to be a member in the program or in of the website. Like saves your address, saves your credit card, stuff like that. Once
Right.
you do that, another link will pop up on this website and it'll say become an affiliate. Once you do that, you get a link, like a website link that if you make content, if you're a YouTuber or you're posting Instagram and you're sharing my product out there and my product is getting sales because of you, I'm going to turn around and you're going to get credit for it. So you post that link up, and it's kind of like TikTok influencers or all that TikTok shops. You post that link, you post your QR code, like what the guys at Duck Talk were doing if you were watching their videos. And people go
yeah.
to your site, and
Here's
it
one of the
automatically
baits right
gives you
here.
credit, and then it gives you typical amount. Like if you're doing more, we can talk and change the number, but typical amount is 10% of everything that you sell.
Yeah.
So you go and
So
you
I mean,
get.
that's a good. I mean, that's a good deal. I mean, it's just like any other kind of affiliate links and stuff like that, and it's just like life in general itself. If you're willing to go put in and go and work your tail off and be able to go and sell stuff, you're gonna make more money. And so, I mean, I believe that. I mean, these baits are going to catch fish. I mean, I've caught fish with them, and um, I just I think that again the subscription boxes to me, especially for kids. I mean, for people, if you got a fisherman, and if you're watching this anyways, you're a fisherman anyways. But if you got somebody that you know that may not have a lot of baits and stuff like that, this is a real good kind of cheap way to be able to get some great baits and be able to get it monthly to where it's a gift. How I kind of
And
done it at that classic
and
was I kept
if
on
you
saying because
wanted
it's a gift that you don't get.
and if you wanted to give it as a gift for someone, I sell it also in 6 month portions. Like you could just pay for six
Right.
months at a time, and boom, for 6 months for a flat fee, like $100 for 6 months, because I
Yep.
give you the free month included in that. So when you sign up for a subscription on a monthly plan, your first month is free. If you cancel it, you know, I I still give you a free month, and I'm willing to take that hit. I stand behind my product. I know there's people out there who are just going to sign up and get 5 free packs of baits and then cancel. But there's
Yeah.
other people who are going to
So
like them, and they're going to keep doing it, and so I'm willing to take that risk. And
yeah.
but if you have a kid, if you have a grandson, husband, whatever, and you just want to pay once, you
Day
can
is
sign up
coming
for
up.
the six
Yeah.
months, and you can get them 6 months worth of fishing lures at a time. And
Hey,
for it'll
I got
keep
a
getting
great
instead of
idea, Matt. Here's my sale pitch for tonight. You got Mother's Day that's coming up, so any fisherman, go and get your wife these subscription boxes. If she doesn't fish, you're getting them anyway. So I mean,
oh, that is awesome.
Yep.
I like that idea.
It's like a
so
double Father's
I
Hey,
Day on
mean,
but
Mother's Day.
I would accept this for Mother's Day. So let's not,
I'll have Jen
so
pick us
but
Some Mother's Day baits. And I'll make those.
Make some
Pick
special
five
right,
constraints.
baits
right.
for Mother's Day. We'll make them like
So
pink.
guys, I do want to say, make sure you go, and I'm gonna put the links to Matt. I'm gonna put the Luxner Lures website and his Facebook link into the description,
well,
so
Colin,
it's gonna
wait,
be easy.
pause. We need to do a giveaway. So I will do the art for the giveaway and we'll put that out. Matt is going to give away. Matt, tell me what you're going to give away.
Okay.
I think I said I'm giving away a whole year subscription.
That's right. So of your choice, you get a whole year subscription. We'll come up with, whether we want you to like the page or go over and follow Luxner's. We'll give you all the details. Collins, your page is still shut down. You do not have a viable page. So we will kind of
It's
wait
just
on
I
the
just got
giveaway
my
until we.
YouTube. Yeah, my YouTube and TikTok and Instagram is just some odd reason I can get on Instagram, which is affiliated with Facebook, but I can't get on Facebook.
We did get it
So
all worked out, and the hacker was removed, but now the hacker is back. So we have some more. There's a long process to get your page back. So,
You
Colin,
didn't
it's
give
four
nobody your
times.
Google verification code, did you? You gave me a Google
Do what?
verification code. Did you give me a Google verification code? I had one get me like that a month ago, so
we've had
I was.
there's a lot of spam, and a lot of people are losing their pages, and it's really hard.
Mm-hmm.
We were able to get it back the first time, but we're still having problems. And it's just almost you have to keep working on it until you get it back. But it's 5-hour job every day to try to get your page back. So
Yeah.
we will do the giveaway. I will handle the art on that.
Be on the
But
lookout
be on
for
the
it.
lookout for that is the closure of our business with Mr. Luxner. But we plan on helping him throughout this because we've decided that he took a chance on us, and we believe that we Luxner Lures has we got some incredible lures out of the deal. I feel like we have some stuff that nobody else actually has. I know that for sure because I haven't seen it anywhere else. So I really
What are you
think
talking about? I took a chance. It took a sure bet. Like I've worked with you for 7.
I love it.
I've known you for 10 years, and I've worked with you. You created business cards. You created logos for me. You made bags for me. So anybody out there who makes baits and you want like bags or logos or business cards, contact Jen. I keep posting this on bait making sites. She's done it before. She did it for me, and they can do
I'm
that.
really
But
proud of
yeah,
you.
I don't believe that I took a chance doing it or any risk. Like I took a risk. Like I can fail, but like this is how I feel it in life. You get one shot. Like, so my goal with like the bags, my goal, I've had dreams as ever since I was a kid, like making baits, that I was going to have my baits in these packages, like in stores. And so last year, all of a sudden, like I was out of work. I with the injury, I had surgery, and I was like, started to really fire up making the baits. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to spend $5,000 and get these bags made. And Jen made me the bags. And even if like the lure business didn't take off, hey, I accomplished a goal. I have my baits in professional packaging. And then another goal that I had was my baits were going to be like at the Bassmasters Classic one day. And all of a sudden, here comes Jen and Colin, and they're like, "Hey,
Yeah.
we got an
And I'll tell
opportunity
you,
for you." And
the
so,
people that we showed the baits to, I mean, I feel like they were very impressed because again, it wasn't that we were showing them typical baits that you will see in any other bait and tackle store, um, and and so, but we could tell them we've caught fish with them. So,
That's right.
but um,
And then handing out cards, to
again,
get
Matt, I
let
want to
them know
say
you gave away a
much,
first month
man.
for
I mean,
free.
yeah, yeah. So I want to say thank you to you, Matt. I
Me
mean,
too.
because uh, it
We did
was
a perfect job,
I
but we
felt
did
bad.
our best. And I think it was a great
Yeah,
opportunity that you gave us.
I think
yeah.
you guys
I
did
mean,
great.
because I still have I still have over 9 hours of footage that I still got to finish working on. I'm trying to get it worked on, trying to move, and trying to get Facebook back up. But there's still going to be quite a bit of videos and stuff from the classic that we've done, and also that's going to be uh, that's also going to be showing like the Luxner lures and stuff. As soon as I get my Facebook back up, we're going to be doing more stuff with Luxner, and that's just me. Just I want to tell you thank you again because it meant a lot to have somebody trust us enough to be able to go and do it, and I just felt like
Well, it goes both
when
ways
my
there, Colin. It goes both ways, and like, and then I did it, and I was like, this was an expensive investment, right? So it was like,
yeah
okay, I'm sponsoring some podcasts, sponsoring some people trying to chase their dreams, and yes, I get stuff out of it, but it's a big risk. But at the same time,
yeah
like I said, I wanted my stuff at the Bassmasters Classic. I believed in Jen. Jen believed in you, so it was just an easy thing. And then, like after I had already pulled the trigger, I started just binge listening to your podcast at work, and I'm like, okay, they're doing a very good job of bruiser baits. So,
yeah
and everyone that they had, and then like when you guys first got to the classic, all of a sudden the stuff just started coming out, the Jen's artwork and your guys' videos, and I'm like running around work like, I told you, look, I made it to the classic, and everyone's like, yeah, and
We
so
felt the
and
same
that's what
way. We were
see
super
that
excited about
no,
taking it
no
there.
matter what, no matter what, like
that made that right
I I
there
have
that
lived. I have lived the past few life years of my life like the Stuckies, man. Okay, so anything that I can do, uh, yeah, it's all about experiencing things and fought
that's it.
MMA. I've been
Next
at the
time you're
Bassmasters
coming, Mr.
Classic.
Listener, we're not leaving
I
without you.
am.
You have to go.
I am. I was hoping that I was going to get this bonus check from work
Yeah.
in time to go down and just fly down there.
It would have been awesome for sure.
That would have been
Next
awesome.
next year, it's
So
in where is it? Knoxville.
Yeah, it is.
You might as well fly. It's closer to you. It's in Knoxville.
When
Next year
next year?
in Knoxville.
yeah,
Knoxville,
Same.
Tennessee is not close to me.
Well,
no,
fly.
Yeah, that would
Oh,
be like
it's
a
on the other side of the
3 day
United
drive.
States.
no, you're not
He's
going to
on the
From
drive
west
here
here to
coast.
far.
Wisconsin was a 24-hour drive, and from Wisconsin to North Carolina was a 23-hour drive.
So you
So
have to
I'm
fly.
pretty, yeah, I'd have to fly.
Yeah, they don't hit the
Yeah.
West Coast
So,
very often.
And I only
but
I love to fly. I work on airplanes, so I love to fly.
You got to come. It's an experience. It's something that you never want to miss. We've been to it a
I
lot.
want to try to go to ICAST too.
Well, you buy a spot, and if you can't buy a spot, you still can find people that you can bunker with, per se, and then get in there
Split the
that
cost.
way. Split the cost. It's probably $35,000 for just a little piece of carpet.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's expensive.
So you're going to be going with another company, Mr. Luxner.
Yeah.
You will share that, and you will go on
We
with
might
somebody
do
else.
it next year. I got big dreams, so
We're going to
aim
ICAST.
for the stars.
We can still take you to ICAST, and they will allow us to go live better because it's a little bit different there. We'll be in ICAST in July. So
But
we sure
guys, thank
appreciate
you
you.
for sticking with us for an hour and 40 minutes and just listen to us just ramble on, talking baits, talking fishing, talking how Dustin whooped up on Jen and has the biggest fish in the family. So we always enjoy hearing our Cornhusker friends go at each other and have fun.
Go Big Red.
We ain't from Alabama.
They say that they're Cornhuskers, but we know that they love the Sooners. And but
let me hear it one more time. Give me a big roll tide before we get off here.
I can't. It's against the law.
Roll Tide!
Give it to Matt.
all right, so Matt, thank you again for coming on,
High
brother.
tide.
And
We
I
appreciate
want
it.
us to keep in touch. And I'll send you some pictures of some fish that I've been catching and stuff with it. And guys, I hope y'all have a blessed day. And
I just still got
we'll
one
spend
more question,
time
right? You still
next
got one
week.
more question. You asked the same question to everybody, right?
Yep, I do. Now, I do want to
Done my
ask. Do you
research.
want? Do you know?
Go ahead.
So he's done his research. So Matt, before we go, I want to ask if you could have one person to go fishing with and have them in the boat, on the bank, whatever. One that they could be passed away or still with us. Who would that be, and why would you want to fish with them?
Who are you putting your ear? Well, I would love to go fishing with the Muse, but
That's
if I
overrated.
could pick one, if I could pick one person, I'd pick Larry Dahlberg. He's like my fishing lure little idol. Owns River to Sea and all that, and used to do make lure and
Yep.
makes all sorts of fishing lures. So I'd go fishing with Larry Dahlberg and talk about making fishing lures and all that. So
Heck yeah,
That's pretty awesome.
that is awesome. So, I know this fat boy's hungry, and I've
I haven't eaten
been
since
up
10 o'clock in the
since.
morning. I'm hungry.
It's all right. You know jujitsu. You'll be all right.
So, but guys, I hope y'all have a blessed day, and
Bye,
y'all be
guys.
safe on the roads, and go wet a line. So, have a good one.
Thank you.
You as well.
Bye.